Have any of you guys ever realized you made a mistake like 2 years after the fact? Hi, my name's Oddfell and welcome back to my channel. So, for some of you who are familiar with my channel, this is not a room I typically film in. This is my kitchen. And you guys might be thinking, why is that? Well, that's because this statue that we're going to be unboxing today is too big for me to film with in my normal space. And I know what you just heard is it's too big to probably fit in her light box. She can't get light box images. But no, what I mean is it's too big to fit on my desk. It has to go on my kitchen table. I'm very, very excited to be unboxing this, but it's definitely one of those moments where you read how big a statue is and it doesn't process in your head how big this statue is about to be until the poor UPS man is on your doorstep with this massive, what looks like appliance-sized box, and you go, oh! That being said, this is a statue I've genuinely been so excited for. This is my favorite character from a video game of all time, and one of the most beautiful sculpts I've ever seen, and I cannot wait to see it in person and to see what we're working with here. So without further ado, I will place this massive statue onto our table. So here she is. This is the GamingHeads Dragon Age Inquisition Solas statue, Fate Edition. I ordered this about 2.5 years ago now. I've been so impatient about it. It's just been sitting on pre-order forever. So when these finally got shipped out, I was so excited. It actually arrived to my house the day I was leaving to be out of town for 2 weeks. So it's been killing me knowing that this has just been sitting in my house while I haven't been home. But I'm so excited to open it. That said, I want to put a disclaimer right here, right now. If you have not played Dragon Age Inquisition and would like to, or have not played Dragon Age Inquisition Trespasser and would like to, and do not want spoilers, please tread lightly on the rest of this video. The nature of this statue is somewhat spoilery, so keep that in mind. I don't want comments being like, oh no, I didn't know this and it spoiled it, because this will directly tie into the next Dragon Age game and or is in its own nature spoilery. So if you haven't played it and you want to, please come back to this after you've played the game, alright? Alright. I know I usually talk about packaging, but all things considered, like, this is still the outer packaging. So, I mean, take a good look at it, right? It says what it is. We've got all the basic information. We've got GamingHeads. I don't know if this will end up being the statue number later, because I know this is a limited number statue. Sorry, I'm using this as a pointer. I know this is a limited number statue, so we might have statue number 144. But let's go ahead and get the statue out of this box. I didn't even want to take it out of this box until I was filming because I want you guys to get every actual reaction I have to this, because I've just been looking forward to it for so long, and this is probably going to be my favorite statue I own. Dragon Age is my favorite game, this is my favorite character, and I'm genuinely, I'm just sky high about it, okay? Oh my gosh, okay. It is so giant. Okay, hold on. I'll let you guys look at the top real quick, but I think I'm gonna have to wrestle this box down because I think it's just gonna be too tall for me to try and wrangle this, so hold on. What have I done? Oh my god. Oh. Okay. You are a heavy boy, Solas. Oh my god, this doesn't make me feel better. This is still a really big box. I'm so excited and so scared. Alrighty, so this is our boy, right? Now we can talk about packaging. Now we can have our packaging stroll, right? So this is Solas in his armor that's featured in Trespasser. Those of you with a keen eye will notice that this is also the ancient elven armor from the Well of Sorrows that we see a couple of the characters like Abelas wear. Gorgeous, we've got the wolf pelt here. we've got all the filigrees, silly little toe armor, and we've got this gorgeous kind of stair-step base with branches coming down on it. Beautiful photo of it on the front, with his name and the fact it's the Fade Edition, and the Fade Edition essentially is the most maxed out of I think the 3 they offered. Here we have him on the side with a different staff than the one pictured on the front, also different hand positions to show off what our variability is going to be. On the back we've got a third set of hand options that are doable for this statue. They come with the Fade Edition, where they're just resting behind his back. Gorgeous movement on this cape here. Cannot wait to see this out of box. And the text on the back reads, "Every great war has its heroes. I'm curious what kind you'll be," which is one of his quotes from Dragon Age Inquisition. And it says, "GamingHeads is proud to introduce our 4th Dragon Age Inquisition statue, the Solas Fade Edition statue." This is where we get into spoilers, alright? Alright, I warned you. Solas, also known as Sven Harel or the Dreadwolf, is an extremely powerful and ancient mage who is wrongly believed by some to be a god.
The Dragon Age Inquisition Solas Fade Edition statue shows Solas in his in-game armor walking down moss-covered stone stairs with a fade in his eyes, bursting with fade energy, while looking slightly to his right-hand side. He has his Asana Song or Acolyte staff on his back and his left after across his chest. It also comes with parts that are included in the Standard Edition statue, which are Solas deep in thought with his hands clasped behind his back, as well as the Veil Edition statue, which Solas are holding the Asana or Acolyte staff in front of him and his left hand by his side, a total of 2 separate heads, 3 sets of arms, the Asana Song staff, and the Acolyte staff.
So there we go. There we've got our answer as to what all comes with this.
The Solas Fade Edition statue has been made in a 1/4 scale and stands about 62 centimeters or 24.5 inches tall, including the base. The Dragon Age Inquisition Solas Fade Edition statue is made of polystone resin and has been painstakingly handcrafted and painted by artisans. It also includes deluxe full-color packaging, a hand-numbered base, and validation card. The Dragon Age Inquisition Solas Fade Edition statue approximate measurements, which are listed below as height is 62 centimeters, from the bottom to the base at the top of Asana's Song, length 30 centimeters, width 32.5 centimeters, and weight 5.7 kg, which in our standard measurements in the US is 24.5 inches tall, 12 inches or 10 inches in length, 12.5 inches wide, and 12 pounds. This is a 12-pound statue.
This was limited to 500 statues, so this is a 1 in 500, my baby boy. And yeah, just like the outside of the box, we are working with statue 144 here. The other side of the box is him with the Acolyte staff once again in another hand position. So we definitely have some options to work with here. I'm very, very excited about that. Yeah, the top is the Dragon Age Inquisition logo, and the bottom, let's see here. The bottom is blank. I'm not genuinely sure the best way to go about this. I'm going to try and see if I can open it from the top and set it down, but I might have to end up wrestling it on its side. So we'll see. Back up on the chair for me. Sorry, you can hear Mochi meowing a bunch again since I've been out of town. She's very, very talkative because she missed me. Okay. Yeah, I think we're going to have to... Yeah. Hey, how you doing? Yeah. Oh, there's even embossing on the foam. We'll get to that in a second, too. Ugh. Oh my god, it hits my ceiling. Oh. I love the care they've put into this, honestly. Very, very pretty. Just so you guys can appreciate this, and I'll get out of the light, maybe you can see it a little better, but we've got an outline art version of what the statue's gonna look like, embossed on the outside of the foam layer here, which is really cool. I love that I've been seeing more and more styrofoam embossing on statues. I believe my Vox Machina also had embossing on the foam. Back here it says Solas, Dragon Age Inquisition, and GamingHeads. And in here we have what looks like almost a little credit card, And I'm assuming this is our authentication card. Typically they're like paper, but this one has like 3D numbers, almost like a credit card, so that's kind of cool. Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh, some of his heads are in here, so be careful. So we've got on this side one of the stabs and 2 of the heads. So many pieces.
Alright, so here I am just unboxing each of the pieces and assembling our base statue. Then we'll start to go through each of our arm positions, the different staffs, the different heads, all the different options that we've got here. But first things first, I've got to unwrap a ton of stuff. Right out of the gates though, here is our Fade Eye head, and I'm really impressed with this sculpt. You can see veins on his forehead, you can see his scars. The paint job and the blush is really good and natural on the cheeks. Here they are side by side. I feel like these are pretty faithful with the game design and how he looks in game, and altogether, I'm really impressed with how these look. Alright, so here's our staves and all of our arm options laid out. I'm really impressed with just the quality and the textures that we're working with. So here is our option number 1. We've got his arms down to his sides. Oh my gosh, can we just take a moment to appreciate the base? Look at all the tiny moss growing on it. Look at the details on his armor, his chainmail. These arms are a really good default position. I do like the kind of authoritative pose that he's got. This one, of course, would be made for putting a staff on his back, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. But all around, I'm very pleased with this arm position. So next we have the one hand holding the Asana staff while the other sits on his chest. This one to me is very emotive. It feels like a romance Solas. It feels like a Solas who's kind of sad and pensive, and it's a very thoughtful position. One thing I really like is I feel like this pose gives us a chance to really admire his hand armor and just how articulated it looks. I'm obsessed with these chainmail details. So here we have the same hand position but with our Acolyte staff. This is one of my favorite in-game designs for a staff personally. I like how rugged it looks. I like the idea of a staff that can also be a mace. And I really like how they did the kind of grungy looking gauze wraps on it. I think it really reads as fabric, and they did a really good job both on that and our dusted steel texture here. This next hand position we're going to talk about to me is the most Solas pose. It might not be the best for Fen'Harel, but it is the one that reads the most as Solas to me. Whenever we see him at Skyhold or even at Haven, he always walks with this elegance, with his hands placed behind his back like he's thinking or daydreaming or otherwise just really excellent kind of wistful posture. I love the fact that we get to see his open palms with all of that chainmail. Again, obsessed with these details. And I think the kind of soft, casual way he's resting his hands was really well sculpted and well conveyed here. And last but not least, here's a combination of 2 of the hands we've seen before. This time we have one hand down instead of holding a staff, and then the other one on the chest. Much like how I said the other one was a good Solas pose, this one just really evokes Trespasser to me. This one looks like he's coming down for the Alluvion, and he's going to break our heart. It's thoughtful, it's good. I like that we can have the staff on his back with this pose, and altogether, I think this one and the previous one are a tie for which one I'll display him with.
We've sat and we've unboxed this boy together. You've seen all of the different variations of arms. I think this is the one I'm gonna leave him on right now. I love this kind of pose. I was between this and the ones with his hands behind his back. They felt the most Solas. But now's the part where we talk about my thoughts, what I think of this statue. I waited 2.5 years for it. Did it meet my expectations? X, Y, Z. I want to start out with the bad and we'll end with the good so that way we end on a good note. Because there's not that much bad about this statue, if I'm being honest. My biggest beef is for them to advertise that there's 2 variant heads. They are almost indistinguishable. Not only are they identical positions, but the color they chose for his fade eyes is very close to his default eye color. I kind of wish they would have done something a little more glowy, maybe gotten rid of his pupils or made them more of an electrical blue or had it spill over the outline of his eyes a little bit, kind of like that scene right after the death of Mythal. That would have been awesome. Instead, it just kind of looks like Solas with blue eyes. And that's fine. I'm sure some people like it, but To me, them being the exact same position, exact same expression, I would have been fine with eyes this subtle if they had given him more of a sad face. I just feel like they could have given us an alternate head to cause so much more heartbreak. I mean, if you're gonna reference Trespasser, break my heart. Could you imagine a head that had the eyebrows that are just like right before he steals your arm? That's what we wanted. That's what we wanted. It would have been cool if one of these was his iconic
I suspect you have questions.
over the shoulder, because then you could have positioned the statue like this, with the arms in this position, with his head in the backwards angle, and really locked down that kind of iconic pose he has in Trespasser. I think those both would have been more sound options for this head than to have it be the exact same head sculpt with a slightly different eye color. And I know that's me nitpicking, but when a statue is at this price point, I think the statue was $650 including shipping, I do expect a little more from a secondary head than just a slight shift in eye color. Getting on to the good, I think the details in this are absolutely immaculate. I mean, the chainmail links in his gloves and on his calves and thighs, the filigrees on all of the armor are clean and immaculate. There's really no messes up in the sculpt in that regard. There are a little bit of paint bungles on mine. There's a little bit here and a little bit of weirdness on his cape, but overall some of that could just be transportation. I do know that a lot of these were hand painted, so who knows, there is a little bit of wiggle room for error there, and overall the paint bungles aren't too obvious and could just be chalked up to weathering on the outfit. The base I think is absolutely lovely, as my sweater gets stuck in it. The base is absolutely lovely. I love all these little moss three-dimensional details. They could have just sprayed it green with some airbrush, but we do get some nice texture on the base that I really appreciate. I think that the movement on his cape back here is really impressive. I mean, we even have details enough that his bandolier has holes where the buckle would attach tighter or looser. That's really, really cool. In addition, I love that there's magnets in these. There's a little bit of a dot right there so I can see where it goes, and they can just click onto his back. I think that is very, very cool. It also means that I can position it more like this, more like this. I have a freedom of range with that I feel like if it was a peg, I would not have. Again, just the detail on the armor is, I mean, right out of the game, extremely beautiful and screen accurate. And his head sculpt, I know I was complaining about the lack of diversity in his head sculpts, but they are impressive sculpts. You can see a little bit of a vein on the side of his temple. You can see his jawline. They included not only his cleft chin, but his forehead scar. And altogether, the painting is very, very good. It looks very true to the in-game model. I'm very pleased with it. I'm a big fan of the nose line that Solas has, and I feel like they really captured that very angular profile that he's got. And altogether, they did a good job distinguishing textures between metal, fabric, fur, and leather. Very, very impressive piece. I think absolutely worth the money if you were thinking about it. I don't know if these are sold out since it's a 1 in 500, but the quality of this, the weight of this, the base is very, very heavy. The pieces are very, very heavy and feel well made, and they all magnet into place. So it's not just pegs you have to worry about. They do click in, like, as you can see, I have to kind of apply a little pressure and then boop, they click right back in. Absolutely lovely. Very, very excited to have this in my collection. And if you like Dragon Age, and even more importantly, if you like Solas, I cannot recommend this enough. It's very hard to get statues, especially of this caliber for more French games like Dragon Age. I feel like we get maybe one a year, if that. So definitely jump on this if you get the chance. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked this video, please like it. And if you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button and the little notification bell so you see more videos like this in the future. This is a statue I've been so excited to open for years now. And I'm so, so excited that it was at a time where I was able to film and put this out on YouTube, because when I first ordered it, it wasn't super making videos yet. So I'm really happy that this is something I could share with you guys. I hope you liked getting to see this as much as I did, because I think this might be my new favorite piece in my collection. Comment down below if there's any other Dragon Age characters you'd like to see me unbox, whether it's from this collection or otherwise, or just tell me who your favorite Dragon Age romance is. I'm really curious. Also, please do chime down below if you're also a hopeless Solavellan. I know I am counting down days till the next game and I am so nervous about it because, oh my gosh, it's the canon run, okay? If you want to see early access videos, behind the scenes on my cosplay work, and even more bells and whistles, make sure to check out my Patreon. Tiers start at just $1 and you help me make videos just like this one, as well as tutorials and cosplay related videos as well. Until the next time, I'll see you guys. Have you guys ever realized you made a mistake like 2 years after the fact? Hello, Mochi. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. So excited to... Hello, baby.